Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Mid here today with my UPA Season 1 draft analysis. So, UPA is a brand new Wi-Fi league that I'm an admin of. It's owned by JBUS Side and Lieutenant Goat, aka Dorian, two of my good pals I talk to on a daily basis. So, I'm super excited to be part of this league, but before we get any further, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell in the top right corner if you want a notification whenever I upload. So as I said, UPA is a brand new Wi-Fi league owned by a few good pals of mine. I help run it. I honestly haven't done much, but I'm here. And yeah, I'm super excited. It's a brand new league, first season, so we're here making our start. So we have 18 coaches, it's standard GBA tiers, 1 through 5. You get a GMAX bond and 400 free points for 400 bonds. So yeah, not much to say about it. As I said, there are 18 coaches, and we have a lot of people that you normally wouldn't see, like in our Wi-Fi draft leagues. Like, we really try to branch out and get people that we don't see in every league. Because in Gen 8, it's very hard to find new competitors because it's just so hard to, make content. If you don't have an Elgato, if you can't set up LAN, like before where you could just have a 3DS in the game and you could play. But, yeah, I think we did a very good job of finding people that we don't normally see. I'm super excited to see how this season goes. So, I got a really good draft pick at, I believe it was 4th? Yes, it was 4th. So, I picked up a mod that you honestly shouldn't be surprised to see me draft. I got MEW. So, this is my tier 1. This mod can just do everything in the format. I need to pull up the UPA website so I can look at my draft. Sorry, but you can do literally everything you want. It can be defensive, it can be extremely offensive, it can be bulky setup, offensive setup. It can be, just stall breaker. It can, set up hazards. So this mod can, just put in so much work. It's very hard to prep for. And I've used this mod to succession, I don't know how many times. I used John Jr.'s league stat sheet, and MEW is my all-time kill leader at 72 kills at 42 games played. So it has a kill death of 72 kills and 23 deaths. So this mod I've just put in so much work with over the years, and it's honestly one of my favorite mods to use. And I'm really hoping I can try and hit 100 kills with it this season. That would require me to get 28 kills, but between a 12-week regular season and playoffs, honestly, I think it can be done. So, MEW is something I don't need to talk about. People have seen me draft this so many times. My first time drafting it on Wi-Fi this gen for YouTube, so I'm super excited to see. I'm honestly super excited for you guys to see me use MEW and what I pair with it. So, next one I actually had a little bit of help with, but then I had JB help me with this next pick. I was kind of stalling the draft because I didn't know what I wanted. And he told me to get something that stops stereotypes and stops dark types. So I got SCOLIPEDE. This one has 6-0'd him, like 5-0'd him or 6-0'd him in BBR playoffs. And then I'm pretty sure I did good against him in the regular season, but SCOLIPEDE is a mon I'm also super comfortable with. Base 112 speed, 100 attack. I like poison type, so I get my poison type, my granite poison, so I can absorb T-spikes. It can be extremely offensive, but can also set up those spikes and T-spikes to help whittle down, just mons as they come in. Makes it, like to where walls take a lot of damage, so offensive MEW can come in later and clean. It's also super offensive, with SD, even though it does only have the base 100 attack. But with the speed boost, it can, outspeed everything in the format after a few boosts. Can hit mons super hard with Poison Jab, Mega Horn, Earthquake, Aqua Tail, Superpower. It can even be like a Sash Endeavor lead. Like force my opponents to go down, like they try to kill me turn 1. But I just set up spikes or T-spikes in their face and, just hazard stack them as they, maybe try to like set up on me or, just try to kill me. But I'll just set up spikes and then endeavor them down to 1 HP and then have something come in and revenge them. So this one is something, as I've already said, I'm super comfortable with. And this team, I try to get a few mons that I'm super comfortable with, so I know this team can do well. But also grab a few mons that I wanted to try all gen, but just haven't been able to. So, water break. So SCOLIPEDE and MEW is a great pairing. I think like I've had it before in APA Academy Season 1. That was the 3 draft season where we had to draft 3 teams, as the name implies. So I had this on draft 2. So yeah, I just think this pairing is a great pair. Speed Pass is banned, so it's not like I can Speed Pass into me or any of my later mons, but I still think this mon was very good for round 2. So next up, I got Groomsnarl. This is something I've had in EWT. It's the only time I used it, and I really loved it. I love being able to set up dual screens to, make my setup threads just that much harder to deal with, because it makes it so much easier for you to set up. So like, instead of like taking, like 60% remove, you're only taking 30, so you can set up multiple times for cover up. And Groomsnarl has 2 typings that you always want in a draft: Dark and Fairy. Dark type, so you don't auto lose to Psychic types. They're forced to at least run coverage for you, like Focus Blast or Dazzling Gleam. And then Fairy type, so Dragon types can't just come in and click Outrage or Draco Meteor and pick up a kill every single time. So Groomsnarl is a very good mon. It will 100% not be my kill leader, even though it is like a good wall breaker, with like bulk of Darkest Lariat. But I know for the most of the time I'm going to be running like dual screens, Thunder Wave, maybe like Darkest Lariat, Spirit Break. I do like the good bulk up, Rest, Sleep Talk, Spirit Break. I think that's just like a really good set. But I just know for the most part, a lot of the rest of my team can set up very well. So I'm going to want the screen support, make it just even easier for them and make them a lot more usable. So if you didn't watch my EWT run, you should. It's in my playlist. So, but I use Groomsnarl every week to make it to where Como-O could just come in and kill every mon out there. Like it gets set up Dragon Dances and win. So Groomsnarl is like very one-dimensional in how I'm going to use it, but it's like I just know it's going to pair well with how I play and how the rest of my team works. So next up, I got Gastrodon. Just a bulky water and ground type. I have a Scolipede that 4 times resist the Gastrodon, 4 times weakness to grass. It's a bulky water. It's a bulky ground, which you always need. So electric types can't just come in and spam Volt Switch, get all the momentum. And it's very bulky. It can be physically offensive, especially defensive. It's it's not gonna do a lot every week. Like it'll be like a soft check or a hard check to a few mods in my opponent's team. It'll Toxic, it'll Scald, it'll Earthquake, it'll Recover, it'll do stuff like that. Won't do much else. But, it's defensive enough to where I feel like and it's also a mon I believe I've had before, if not for a while. But it's just so defensive that it can take any 2 or 3 hits, get some damage off. EQ hits hard off of this thing, and it does get Storm Drain, so it is a Scald immunity and a Water immunity. So like I don't have to worry about like Urshifu Rapid Strike, just destroying it. With Surging Strikes, like it's a great check to that, and it checks most offensive and defensive waters. Just have to be careful about getting Toxic or, getting hit by a super effective grass move. But I think with the rest of my team, I'm not going to be too worried about grass types. So next up, I have Stakataka. So this one is kind of interesting on this team. It's, yeah, I mean, what's there to say? It gives me 4 times weakness to ground, 4 times weakness to fighting. And, it's weak to a lot of offensive typings. But paired with screens, it can take those hits a lot better. I can set up Trick Room. And then not much wants to switch into the combination of Gyro Ball and Stone Edge. It just, it can take a lot of hits and do a lot of damage back. And especially if I start getting those attack boosts going and their GMAX is gone, there's really not much your opponent can do about it if I have their walls weakened. Which at this point, I don't have many wall breakers, but as you'll see later on, I do. But like, this mon's a great wall breaker and can be a great late game cleaner. It can also gives me like a bulky Stealth Rocker if needed. You can run like Infestation Toxic, like Rest, Sleep Talks, just to break down walls that can't, that don't offensively threaten me, and can just, get them toxic, get them weakened for something like a Scolipede or a MEW to win later on. So next up, we have Surfetch. This is a tier 3 fighting type, base like 130, 5 attack, at least 130. Let me look now. But this one is so offensively strong, and it's really benefited by its ability. Scrappy is base 135. It's only 65 speed, so it's it can be used in Trick Room, but it's also a good choice guard for getting out speed. I believe like at least base 105s, if not 110s. But nothing really wants to switch into the combination of all of its attacks: Close Combat, Leaf Blade, Knockoff, Poison Jab, Great Bird, Knockoff. Like, this one gets coverage to everything for super hard damage, especially coming off that base 135 attack stat. It does appreciate screens, so I can stay on the field longer. You'll probably see this thing be like Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Choice Band. That's really all it does, is be like an offensive physical breaker. But it can just puts on so much offensive pressure, and it forces my opponents to bring their, bulky psychic types that Scolipede can abuse with Mega Horn. It's like, it just forces so much prep that I think is super useful for this team to have. And it just breaks down so many walls. Like I've said, like, it's going to be a designated wall breaker, and I'm super excited to use it. It's one I've wanted to use ever since Gen 8 came out, but I've just never had a team that really fit it. But that's what this team is for. So now we have my GMAX Flapple. I picked this mon like way too early, because only me and like Shikwaza, a good pal of mine, would like need our GMAXs still. But I was kind of joining the draft at this point, and I didn't want to keep it joining any longer. So I just picked him on I knew I wanted in GMAX Flapple. It's definitely not the greatest GMAX. Like, you've seen me use GMAX Melmetal and GMAX Urshifu Single Strike, but which were like two of the most broken GMAX mons that I believe were banned in this draft, in most leagues. But I wanted to try like a lower tier GMAX, one that's still very good. The only problem with it is it's very slow at base 70, but with the dual screens it makes it that much easier to set up these Dragon Dances, and with Hustle coming off that base 110 attack stat, it just hits super hard. It gets very little coverage. Like, you'll see me run U-Turn, Sucker Punch, Outrage, Grab Apple, Dragon Dance every week. That's really the only moves you run. But 110 attack stat off of Hustle is very threatening, and we can run any item we want. So that's not, it makes it even easier for us to set up or do even more damage. We can run a Choice Band, a Choice Scarf, a Life Orb, a Yachi Berry if we want to, live a hit from an Ice type. And if we get the GMAX up, our Hustle still's there. Like, we get the attack boost, but we don't have to worry about accuracy. So it just hits super hard. It loses to Steel types, but we have a Gastrodon, we have a Surfetch. Stack attack can beat Steel types, so can Scolipede. So I'm not too worried. I know this mon can put in work, and I'm super. I think this mon's super good. Maybe not like super good, but like a good. Like, no GMAX mon is inherently bad. It has like Pikachu and Eevee. But this mon I really wanted to try, and it helps us break those bulky waters that we kind of struggled with at this point. So I feel like my team was looking pretty good super far. Like, it's a team that I feel like I will be super comfortable with and can put in a lot of work. So I want to continue that when I get my next pick in Aromatisse. I wanted a secondary fairy type, because Grimmsnarl is a fairy type that gets weakened very fast because it doesn't get that reliable recovery. So I wanted a lower tier fairy type with Wish, so it can, it didn't need to have Wish, it just needed to be able to recover. So this month's better at stopping those dragon types that you always want to be prepared for. Just gives me a Wish Passer, gives me it's just a decently bulky fairy type, and it just gives me a secondary fairy up, as I've said, just so I don't lose to those dragons, because otherwise Grimmsnarl gets weakened way too fast with how many mons it usually needs to check. Because its main job will be to set up screens for the rest of my team to win, but I still need that defensive backbone with Gastrodon and Aromatisse to at least live hits and try not to get swept early on. So next up, we got 3 more picks, and I got knocked out. If you didn't see in VBR, this mon just put in work every time I brought it. Agility, Nasty Pot, just to set up, get to +2 speed, +2 special attack, and just spam Hurricanes until I win. This mon, just with Tinted Lens, with the flying typing, a strong flying move, and Hurricane just can put in so much work if your opponent doesn't prep for it right. I feel like I deal with steals very well, and Noctowl is just another way of pressuring those. So yes, I'm kind of steel weak, but I have so many mons on my team that just pressures them to where, like, I can let one mon die to a steel type and let it get incredibly weakened, so that the rest of my team can thrive and beat the rest of my opponent's team. So we have 2 more picks left, and with our second last pick, we got FLAREON, bulky fire type. I needed a secondary tier 5, because Noctowl was my first tier 5. I just wanted a bulky fire type. It gives me another Wish Passer. It can put on... It can be kind of offensive with Guts, Toxic Orb, but it just... By the time you complete Flare Blitz and rack up that toxic damage, it doesn't really benefit you as much. It does give me a way of beating Steel types. It can be like defensive, like a Lava Plume, Wish Protect, Toxic. So like it can do that. I don't know if I'm gonna be FLAREON at all this season, but like it's a mon that you have to decently prep for, and it gives me another way of breaking bulky grass types that so far only Scolipede and Noctowl can. But like it's a FLAREON. I feel like it was good value for tier 5, and it was about as good as I could get. So with our final pick of the draft, I got Porygon-Z, base 90 speed tier mon. Is a very good choice Scarfer, can run dual dance with like nasty plot agility, and Tri-Attack coming off that, you know, base like 135 special attack with adaptability, has no switch-ins, and with Grimmsnarl screen support, it just makes it that much easier for it to set up and win. And Porygon-Z is a mon I've really wanted to try in Wi-Fi, and just haven't been able to up until this point. Actually, I think it might have just been added to Wi-Fi, I don't know. But this mon is just something I've wanted to use for a long time, and you know, I just think it fits very well in this team, and it's a comfort mon. I've used it multiple times and loved it every single time. So this is my team. Make sure to leave in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think my team is going to be doing this season? 1, like this is the worst team of all time, 10 being the best draft I've ever drafted. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.